Hello everyone, this is Kiwi. For those who don't know me, I am a professional Super Smash Bros. Ultimate player. I've been in this community for over a decade. I have been competing since I was 12 years old. It's been a journey. I wanted to make a video having a discussion. It's something I've wanted to make a video about for a long time. I figured what better time to sit down and make this video than when I'm sitting around doing nothing from my Crohn's disease and my rheumatoid arthritis kicking my ass. People ask me all the time what it's like being a woman in the Smash community, and you know, I wanted to give my perspective. I wanted to give my experience, my feelings, my stories, everything that's happened to me, the pros and cons of being a woman in the scene, specifically being a competitively high level woman in the scene. You know, in this scene, there aren't as many women competing, which means you don't see many women at high level. And I figured I could shed some light on my own experiences and my own stories, because this isn't something talked about a lot. I think it's an important conversation to have. I just want to talk about the pros and the cons to it, to being a woman in competitive high-level Smash. And hopefully this will teach guys and gals and non-binary friends, everyone out there, what it's like and what we can do to improve it. There's good and bad. Disclosure. You know, I'm not going to speak on behalf of other women. There's a lot of women that say that, you know, this community treats women horribly and it's not a good community. I'm not gonna take that away from them. It's their feelings, their experiences. But my experience, I will tell you, I love this community. I grew up in this community. I have been here since I was 12. You know, there's been a lot of ups and downs, and I'm still here. There are good and bad. It is not all bad. There's actually a lot of good. So just keep that in mind. But we are going to start with the bad. I think it makes sense to go to a more positive note later on. So I think a good place to start is I had a set with Tweek. I'm sure everyone knows Tweek. Top 3 player in the world. He's amazing. I had a set with him at Shine 2019. And it was on stream, it went to game 5, and it's on YouTube. I know everyone's gonna say like, oh, YouTube comments don't represent the community, they're toxic, don't look at YouTube comments. But we have to keep in mind, there are people behind these comments, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, whatever. And online is a huge part of our community, and this isn't all online. The things that are said in these comments are also things that I have been told even in person. And it needs to be addressed. So, you know, let's go through the comments. Let's see what good and bad, whatever. Let's see what kind of comments we have, okay? Kiwi is such a good player to play this close against Tweek. That's really nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, Kiwi was only a few whiff grabs away from taking this from number 2 in the world, so calm and collected the whole time too. I would have been a wreck. Appreciate it. Tweek's sister really almost caught his ass clapping. Yeah, everyone thinks Tweek and I look alike. Do we really? I don't know. I can't see it, but what do I know? So look at this. You know, we're off to a great start. These are very positive comments. These are nice comments. Bless all Pac-Mains. Bless you too, Michael. Kiwi, the female godlike Pac-Man player. See, and again, with the female thing, it's a little weird. We'll get to that. Here's where it starts to get weird. Okay, is this one of the best female players? Not that it matters, I'm just wondering. Yeah, arguably the best female player. Definitely better than SuperGirlKels IMO. Oh my god, she's so thick. Mommy. Kiwi thick. Kiwi is a guy, LMAO? Question marks? She's not a guy. Shoutouts to my brother. This is my brother. God, it's gotta be real weird as my brother to see comments all the time insinuating I'm a male. And she's thick? Timestamp? The juice end of the set thick? Virgin? Once again, then you get my brother. Why did I check the comments? This is why most girls feel uncomfortable playing on stream. Shoutouts to my brother, legend. Kiwi really isn't that good. Then you scroll down and see she is thick too. Vaginal blood? A girl meaning any other character in Wrecking Face, I sleep. A girl meaning Pac-Man in Wrecking Face. Bro, I'm about to simp for this girl, I swear to Christ. Damn, I want one of those cute smasher girl for myself, they're so cute. Kiwi best waifu. So as you can see, it's a bit of a mess in those comments, but I think it's the perfect segue to talk about all of these issues because pretty much everything I want to talk about is in the comments of this single video. But obviously they are much more widespread issues. They happen everywhere, not just in YouTube comments. So let's talk. First one I want to talk about, the thick comments. Really weird. You know, it's a common thing I've noticed when girls play on stream, and don't get me wrong, it happens to guys too. Be aware that, you know, all of this stuff can happen to guys, but it is so unbelievably skewed towards women. Their appearance being commented on, being harassed for it, or put on a pedestal for it. Some people are gonna look at this and be like, oh, like, why would you be upset that these people are calling you thick? Like, having a big butt is a desirable trait. And perspective is everything. I'm asexual. I was raped and molested repeatedly throughout my life. I am not interested in having sexual qualities on my body. I'm not interested in people looking at me like that. I don't go on stage to play Super Smash Brothers so people can look at my ass. I just want to play the game. If you have those thoughts, hell, leave them to yourself. This happens a lot. Every single Smash girl I've talked to, we've all experienced the same thing. Every girl goes through this. If you're on stream, it's sadly likely that people are going to comment on your appearance. This needs to stop. It's unwanted. Again, we're here to play a video game. Doesn't matter, girl, guy, whatever. Just don't comment on people's appearances. There are so many comments on this one video addressing my ass. That's pretty gross. This stuff doesn't bother me. The truth is, I'm very desensitized to this sort of thing. I've been here for a long time. I've been dealing with it for a long time, but that doesn't make it okay. There are many women that are new to this community and they're like, this is crazy. This is such a breach of comfort and privacy for people to make these comments. And it's just like, yeah, it is messed up, but you just get used to it. It sucks when my best advice for these women is try your best to ignore it and you'll get used to it. That's not okay. That shouldn't be the way it is. I shouldn't have to just essentially tell these girls, yeah, you just gotta deal. Like, you can't control the actions of these people. Try your best to ignore it, because that's what's worked for me. The reason I'm still here is because I got used to it and I ignored it. And now I look at comments like this and it doesn't faze me. But it's a problem because that's not gonna work for every other woman in the scene. They're gonna look at these comments and be incredibly uncomfortable. They're not gonna wanna play on stream. Hell, they're not even gonna want to compete. Because it's not just on stream. It can happen in person. People have commented on my butt in person. Plenty. And we need to work on it. This kind of segues into the fact that as a woman in the scene, I get a lot of weird, unwanted messages, primarily after I'm on stream, especially when I do well. And I figure I'll show you some examples. May I kiss and suck on your beautiful toes? Yeah, man? You good? I would very much like to buy a pair of your underwear if you would be open to the idea and needed some extra money. Look, I'm a broke bitch, but I am not that broke. Wow, I don't want to be weird, but I saw you on stream and you're cute AF. Was cheering for you versus Larry. Please respond. So this is what I'm talking about, or a lot of girls, when they get messages like this for the first time, it's like, that's a little weird, but I'm at the point now where it's just like, this is funny. The please respond kills me. Please respond, please ma'am, please, I'm begging you. I got this email the day I beat Ling Ling and Mr. E. Have you ever thought of having a sugar daddy? Because I would love to spoil you. Hi, sorry for the odd question in advance, but would you be willing to sell old flats or a pair of socks worn for a week? If so, how much? I mean, at least they said it was an odd question, but come on, guy. So these aren't even all of the messages I have. Again, I'm very desensitized to this sort of thing, but over time, it can be exhausting. You know, God forbid you read this on a bad day and you're just done. You're just done with it. Even the strongest girls I know break sometimes just reading this every single day. People just don't know personal boundaries, which is another reason why a lot of women in the community have their DMs turned off on Twitter and such, because if they don't, then they get messages like this. A Smash player literally DM'd my boyfriend Biscuit for nudes of me. He asked my boyfriend if he could provide nudes of me. Next topic. This one is a double whammy. It's not just sexist, it's also transphobic. So something I'm asked a lot when I do well in tournaments specifically, I will get messages from people asking me if I am transgender. Here is why this is not okay. The reason they're asking this question, specifically after I do well in Smash, is because A, they're assuming that cis women cannot perform well at video games. B, only men can perform well at video games, which means the only answer is I must be transgender. So it's sexist because women can't be good at video games, and it's transphobic because it's assuming that trans women are actually still men in some form. That is not true. Trans women are women, is why I don't see why the hell it would matter if I'm transgender. I am a cis woman, but if I wasn't, does that really make any difference? Does it really make any damn difference at all? Why does it even concern you? Go outside, touch some grass, and understand that it's none of your business, and it doesn't even matter. Every time I've been on stream at a major tournament, or even in my own stream, and I'm doing well, people need to ask, is this a real girl? Is this a trap? And it's so messed up. I feel very bad for the transgender women in this community that also have to see those comments. Because, you know, if you are transgender, it almost feels like you're not valid. Like, oh, you're transgender, that's why you won. It's like, what does that have to do with anything? They won because they're good. You're not gonna get some crazy boost in a video game whether you have X or Y chromosomes. It doesn't matter. Please stop asking this question. It doesn't make a difference what the answer is, and it also is none of your business, and it's very rude to ask. You know, people make the argument like, oh, they just want to know, they just want to be sure what your pronouns are. If that's the case, you could just ask, what are your pronouns? Instead of, hey, are you trans? If you're a commentator and you need to know my pronouns for a set, that's great. And I even appreciate you for asking. It's very respectful to make sure you have it right. If you're not, I don't want you asking me or anyone else that question. It is up, like, if someone is transgender, that is their business and their business alone, and it's up to them if they want to come out about it or not. Even on my boyfriend's YouTube channel, I did a speed run of a very hard category of a video game, Kingdom Hearts 2 Level 1 Critical Mode. I did a speed run on his channel, and I got a whole thread of people trying to figure out if I was transgender or not. Isn't there anything better you could do with your time? Shoutouts to all women in the community, transgender, cis women, whatever. You're valid, you're a woman, that's it. The next topic is a topic I have been very vocal about online. It has been around since day one I've joined the community. This is kind of a combined topic. It's about best female smashers, like ranking women in the game and then comparing them against each other. So one of the sets that I remember most in my Smash career was a set I played back in Brawl. It was an amateur bracket set against another girl in the community. I ended up beating this girl. They even put it on stream. There was a huge crowd. It was crazy how much the community cared about it. And she felt so bad about the fact that she lost that she started shit-talking me online, and she messaged me asking to do a $50 money match at the next Apex, which was the biggest major at the time. I was 14 or 15 years old. To have this grown woman like, nah, you're shit, I'm better than you, let's money match $50 at the major on stream. I was like, girl, I don't know what's going on. I just like the video game. I'm just trying to play. But now I understand why she was so insecure. Was because guys were comparing us left and right. Everyone was shoving in her face like, oh, Kiwi's the better female smasher. There were even tier lists back in the Brawl days of Smash girls. Like, it was a hobby of some of these Smash players to just compare us all and put us all in a tier list of who the best girls are. When there are so few women as it is, I don't even see what the point of comparing us is. It's just unnecessary. And the result is a bad one. The result is that all of the women get really tense and insecure and feel this need to be the best female smasher. Like, they need this title. It's not healthy, and all it does is bring us backwards. If we want to be treated like any other Smash player, not just like female Smash players, we can't be having these female smasher comparisons. It doesn't feel good. Like, there's so few of us, you'd think that we should all be supporting each other and helping each other, not just fighting and bringing each other down to feel good. And it still happens to this day. This is something that both sides here need to work on. It's not necessarily with bad intentions. Guys will ask, who's the best female Smash player? Or they'll call us like best female Smash players. Like, I understand that it's supposed to be a compliment, but it's not. If you want to compliment us, just call us a good player. There's no reason to separate us into our own category. Just call us a good player. Take the female out. Gender is irrelevant, right? Some people might say, well, it's because it's for representation. If there are so few women, then we should be sure that we have good female representation, which I agree with you, but we already have it. There are already women competing at high level, and always have been. There are girls competing in high level in Melee. In Brawl, we had Nicole, Fua was kicking ass with Marth. In Smash 4, Kels literally was ranked 100 in the world. And now in Ultimate, there's so many women competing at high level. We already have the representation. Most people know who girls like Fua and Kels and me are. Like, people know who we are. We don't need to constantly remind everyone, like, we're female, by the way. If we're already known, like, why do we need to bring gender into it? We shouldn't be known because we're women. We should be known just because we're good. You know, back in Brawl, there was representation with Fua, you know? Like, I looked up to Fua a lot. Fua was a huge inspiration for me. And I didn't look at her like, oh, she's a good female player. Like, I looked at her like, she's a good player. In Smash 4, she was ranked top 20 in Japan for a time. Like, she beat Komori Kiri when he was in his prime. She's godlike. She still is. She always has been. And I don't look at her differently than any other top player. She's just a top player. She's not a female top player. Like, yes, she is female, but she is a top player regardless of her gender. So what I'm getting at here is that the best female smasher thing is really bad. The end result is just that guys compare women to each other, and then women feel insecure and they feel the need to be the best woman in the community, and they put other women down as a result. Like, the amount of times that I have been compared to SuperGirlKels specifically is an absurd amount. Like, oh, is Kels better? Is Kiwi better? Is another girl better? It doesn't matter. So then you ask, why are guys comparing women then? And it's because we're treated as a separate category of players when we shouldn't be. We should be treated just like any other Smash player. So guys, don't compare women. Don't make tier lists of women. Don't do that. Girls, don't come into the community wanting to be the best female player. So now I'm getting into the actual harassment stuff. A much harder topic to talk about because it's much worse than everything else. And as we have learned from the recent Me Too movement last year back in June and July, it also is in the Smash community. I am one of those victims. I mean, many people might know about the Alex Strife story. He was the biggest TO in Smash back in Brawl. He was the TO of Apex. It was the biggest Smash tournament at the time. He sexually harassed me a lot when I was only 14 years old. I wasn't the only one. He sexually harassed a lot of women. Alex Strife isn't the only one. There are other players that have harassed me. Even right now, there is someone who has been harassing me for over a year. They just come into my Twitch streams to harass me. They spammed emails at me. They spammed YouTube comments to me and my boyfriend. They have even went as far as to try and dox me. They tried to release my address, my phone number, etc. They even threatened me with this message. I hope Biz breaks up with you. Imagine dating an LGBT girl. Stupid asexual. I hope you get raped in the asshole. I know your address. I am close to you and I will get you. The unfortunate thing is that a lot of guys will look at that message and be like, oh my god, bro, it's a troll. Like, this is so stupid. It's like, well, when you're a girl and this dude has been trying to dox your address already and your phone number, and then he says, hey, I got your address, I'm coming now. You don't have the privilege to assume that's a joke. So it's scary, and we shouldn't have to put up with this. At the end of the day, we have come a long way. Back in Brawl, everything here was so much worse. A player in my region back in Brawl even told me in our Zat chat at the time that he wanted to know my address so he could come and rape me. I was 15 at the time, I believe. So there's a lot, you know. It used to be really bad. And the worst part is that we weren't taken seriously. You know, when Alex Strife harassed me in Brawl, I made a blog about it. I told Alex Strife to stop and he wouldn't stop. I went to friends who told him to stop and he wouldn't stop. So I felt my only choice was to go to all his Brawl. What bothered me the most was the amount of people that told me, just go to the police. This isn't the Smash community's business or the Smash community's problem. Just go to the police if you were actually harassed. Do you know how many sexual harassment cases actually get anywhere? For the people who tell me and all the other women who were harassed or assaulted to go to the police, you should probably look at the website for RAIN. It claims that out of every 1,000 sexual assaults, 975 of the perpetrators will walk free. So are you getting why going to the police doesn't help? So when I made that blog post, everyone told me, oh, go to the police. You're lying for attention. Like, it did not go well. No one believed me. It wasn't until 5 years later when other women came forward that anyone actually believed me and believed that Alex Strife was an actual predator and needed to be evicted from the scene. He was, thank God. You know, a lot of people took last year very seriously when all of these stories came forward. We have a global ban list now with a lot of names. It's very sad to read, but it was necessary, you know? It was a cleansing. And it's a warning to anyone in the future, do not do stupid shit. So we've come a long way, but it doesn't mean that the battle is over, and we need to work on that. Now let's go into the advantages of being a woman in the Smash scene, because those do exist. For starters, being a woman in the Smash scene means that you are much more known about than men at your same skill level. As I said earlier, a lot of people in the scene know who I am, yet players in my state that are the same skill level as me, not nearly as many people know. Tournament organizers have asked to fly me to their events. I've been put in compendium votes for events. I have been asked to do interviews, quite a lot of interviews, which I turned down all of them because I don't believe I deserve it. there's a lot of opportunities I have gotten for my gender because these TOs and these websites, they want that female representation. Because the ratio is so skewed of women to men, there's not as many women to choose from, so it's a lot easier to get these opportunities. There are so many majors I've went to where I didn't get that crazy of a placement, and yet I was like put on a pedestal for it. It's like, oh my god, Kiwi, you're so good, you're so amazing. And then a lot of the dudes that placed even higher than me don't get anything. It's just like, oh, well, good job. You know, there was that PGR event that I beat Ling Ling and Mr. E at, and I got so much praise for it. I have a friend in my state who's even better than me that has also beaten Ling Ling and Mr. E many times, and barely anyone knows who he is. Yet he is like PGR level. He is an amazing player. He has so many PGR wins, and not many people know who he is, but everyone knows who I am. And I get a lot of praise for it when players that are even better than me don't get as much just because they're guys, they're not girls. So there are advantages to being a woman. You get more opportunities, you get more praise, but it's not met without a lot more discomfort and harassment, unfortunately. But it's only fair that we look at the positives. Let's not forget my set with Tweek. All the top comments were positive. It was people supporting me. That's something we can't ignore. Ladies, something we gotta do better. We gotta talk about the positives. New England, aside from the Brawl era, from Smash 4 and Ultimate, New England has been very kind to me for the most part. They have treated me just like any other Smash player. They don't treat me differently just because I'm a girl, and I really appreciate that. And I really would like the rest of the world to follow that example. If you see a woman at an event, she's just another player. You don't need to assume why she's there. You don't need to wonder if she's actually a woman. You don't need to assume that she's bad. She's just there to play. She's just another player. She's not some weird alien from a different planet. I think the solution to these problems is for us to be looked at the same way as any other Smash player. One of the reasons I think over time things have gotten better is because more women are competing. It is becoming more normalized for women to be in the scene, to compete, especially at high level. It's not such a crazy thing anymore. I think we will endure these problems less as time goes on if the women just continue to compete. We continue to normalize women at high level in the gaming community. And it will also improve if the guys just treat us like anyone else. So at the end of the day, these are just my opinions, my experiences, but I have been here for a long time. I've been here for over a decade. My hope is that people will listen to what I've had to say and take it into consideration. And I hope I got my thoughts across well. I don't mean any harm by anything I said in this video. These are just my thoughts and feelings. I want this community to be the best community it can be. This community is my home. I love it so much, and I will continue to do my best to fight for what I believe is right and make it the best community it can be. It's crazy that, like, there's so many topics I didn't even cover in this video. Like, there's so much more I could talk about. Maybe another day. But for now, I think this is enough. For now, I think these are the important issues. If you've gotten this far in the video, I appreciate it. I'd appreciate if people could spread it around so we could have, you know, a civil conversation about it. Considering these issues are still happening over a decade later, this needs to be talked about. We need to educate people on how we can do better. All of us, guys, women, everyone, we can all do better. This has been Kiwi, and thank you guys so much for watching.